Joining me now is author and political commentator Shemeka Michelle.
Shemeka Michelle.
Shemeka Michelle.
Shemeka Michelle.
When God looked at man, he said it's not good for man to be alone. He gave him a woman. He didn't give him a village. He didn't give him the community. He said, be fruitful and multiply to this man and this woman. So it's supposed to be God, husband, wife.
If you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always done.
Her point was Black women have never had the ability to have autonomy over our bodies, and that is a lie. This is not we're not in color purple days where Mr. would just climb on top of us and do his business. This is 2022, and women have the ability to decide yes or no. I want to have sex or I don't. I want to take birth control or I don't. I want to have this baby or I don't.
Someone please call 911.
Welcome to Shaking My Head with Shemeka Michelle. I am your host, Shemeka Michelle. And I want to thank each of you for joining me today for This Chick, my direct response to Brandon Tatum. Now, before we jump into today's show, I want to address Brandon Tatum's IG comment. So the other day, before I did the live, I actually posted, promotion for the show, what people usually do. I'm not so good at it most of the time because I have so much going on, but people typically, post this type of stuff before their show. So that's what I did. I posted before the show, and Mr. Tatum was nice enough to leave a comment. He says specifically, this chick. It says, funny because this chick don't know either one of us. I literally talked to Candace the other day. People do anything for clicks. And I thought that was real rich, right? I thought that was a bit hypocritical, but I want to just address that because Brandon, let's be honest. Not let's go, Brandon. Let's be honest, Brandon. You didn't know me either when you made 2 videos using me for content. You didn't forget me when we were on the same show together. So this sudden, this chick energy, let's not play. As for clicks, we are content creators. That's the entire point. Nobody is ashamed here. So today, we're going to respond directly, clearly, and with receipts, not out of pettiness, but because selective memory and selective loyalty do need to be addressed. Now, Brandon said, I don't know him or Candace. But he didn't know me when he made multiple videos using me for content. Let's go back to what I just showed you in the opening of today's show. Let me go back because I don't know how, he's forgetting this, but somehow he has.
Her point was Black women have never had the ability to have autonomy over our bodies, and that is a lie. This is not we're not in color purple days where Mr. would just climb on top of us and do his business. This is 2022, and women have the ability to decide yes or no. I want to have sex or I don't. I want to take birth control or I don't. I want to have this baby or I don't.
Someone please call 911.
So let me fast forward to, I showed you all on Monday a snippet of a video he did covering me on CPAC from 2021, where he put words in my mouth and tried to tell his audience that I was attacking Candace, which gave him, in his opinion, every right to then attack me. Though I never said her name, though she was never in my thought, so much so that even when magazines came and wanted to interview me, anytime somebody asked me, I gave them my honest answer. Do I think it could apply to her? Absolutely. But was I thinking about her while I was up on stage or even before going on stage? Let me get Candace told. I already let you all know where my mind was that day and how far from my thoughts Candace was. But he continued to perpetuate this lie or tell this lie, even using me again. He had absolutely no problem with doing so.
Not endorsing any of these people. I don't know these people personally. The one girl that's finna do the slaughtering, she said some stuff about Candace a long time ago. I made a video about it. I didn't like what she said about Candace. However, I never met her in person. These liberals are already dead to me. And
she said some stuff about Candace. I didn't like it. Just lying. Again, using me for content, and the actual description is Black woman annihilates or something like that. You didn't even care enough to correct what you said the year prior, but now here you are again using me for content and using the same slander. She said something about Candace some years ago or whatever, and I didn't like it. Candace's attack dog. Candace's attack dog. That's what Brandon Tatum was up until recently. He was Candace's attack dog. He misinterpreted something that I said, put words in my mouth, and attacked me on behalf of Candace. The irony here is thick. He now says, I don't know him, which means he doesn't know me. So he is accusing me of doing something that he actually did. But at that time, for his own content, for his clicks, it was okay. He thought it was fine. And the selective memory is tripping me out. The two videos about me acting like, I don't know who this woman is, but she came out the can, tripping me out. We've actually been on the same show. Don't believe me? Like to hear it? Here it goes. Let me find the video where we were actually on the same show. Not making this stuff up, y'all. And it just bothers me that people don't like to be honest. Like, what is it that we just have this problem being honest, being accountable? Stop pretending. Here we are on the exact same show. So all of this chick energy is fake. It's not real. But this is why I feel so comfortable pointing out that this man who used to be Candace's attack dog, putting words in people's mouths just so he can have a reason to do content, just so he can have a reason to go on the attack for Candace, is not being completely upfront and honest. And so this chick energy, it's just not genuine. It's laughable, actually. It's laughable. We have shared a platform before. He knows exactly who I am. This chick language is a distancing tactic. It's a distancing tactic. People use it when they need to downplay someone they were comfortable referencing before. So is this chick, when I call you to the carpet, but you had no problem with this chick and using me for content when it was convenient? It's disrespectful, unnecessary, and inaccurate. Don't call me this chick when you've literally used me for content. Stand on what you said. Stand on it. And acknowledge that you told some untruths. And then you want to talk about people will use anything for clicks. Calling me out for clicks or chasing clicks is hilarious. This is the job. This is a job. Brandon makes content daily. He built a platform off commentary, hot takes, and reactions. Clicks aren't shameful. Hypocrisy is. So you want to tell me people do anything for clicks? Well, what have you been doing for clicks? Y'all, go put in Candace's name on his Twitter profile and look how much it comes up. Candace, 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 Candace. Wouldn't be surprised if he said her name by mistake at an inopportune time. Because at one point, that's what came out of his mouth. That's what he typed on his keyboard or his phone or whatever to tweet all the time. Candace, 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 Candace. I don't have an issue with him being her friend then. They both claimed they were friends. What I said was, I feel like he was a backstabber because he went from being this attack dog to being all of a sudden silent and quiet. So I'm asking questions. Content creators create content, period. That's what we do. You can do it, so can I. Clicks keep the lights on, right? Isn't that what you would say, Tatum, when it was you doing it? So please, don't come with the hypocrisy. And you're right. You don't know me. Because you should have known that I was not going to sit quiet while you took some pedestal like you were above the very same thing that you do on a daily basis. You went on while using this for content to say how much you don't like Brandon Strock. Somebody else you don't really know. But you admitted that you didn't know me, but pushed the same lie. So don't try to shame the same thing you practice. It's hypocrisy. And I done told y'all before, you go low, I'm going lower. I'm a different kind of Michelle. And in his comment, he said, I just talked to Candace the other day. Did he really talk to Candace? Maybe. Maybe he did pick up the phone and say, I don't like what you're doing. It's coming across a bit weird, right? Whatever, everything people have been saying. I saw somebody today said, if you still have confidence in Candace, you can't be trusted. I looked in the comments for the attack dog, I ain't see one. I looked to see if someone quote tweeted in attack dog mode. I ain't see one. As a matter of fact, let me share again my X account. Let me share again. Nick Fuentes called Candace a bitch here recently. It was a different type of energy, right? It was a different type of energy. Different type of energy, if I must say so myself. We have here calling Candace a bitch in 2025. I'm not seeing the attack dog energy. Calling Candace a bitch in 2025. I'm not seeing that. He quote tweets somebody saying, I support Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Nick Fuentes. Who else? Are you saying Nick Fuentes and Candace are in the same category? He didn't mind Candace and Tucker being in the same category, but he says, are you saying Nick Fuentes and Candace are in the same category? He called Candace a bitch the other day. I wasn't in attack dog mode when he said it, but he called Candace a bitch the other day. I'm sure Candace will disagree with you. Not the same attack dog energy. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing the same attack dog energy that you gave so many other Black conservatives. Anybody that follow me know I want to unblack myself, but Black conservatives in the past. Where's this same energy for all of the people dogging Candace now? And I'm not saying Candace needs an attack dog. All I'm pointing out is that at one point in time, you were that person. And for someone that you claim was so genuine, so brilliant, I'm wondering why you aren't saying publicly, Candace is genuine, Candace is authentic, Candace is brilliant, Candace is passionate about the things she's passionate about. We just happen to disagree. You keep doing this whole little attacking the things that she said without saying her name. You just released a Substack yesterday. In the Substack, you addressed the whole trap door theory when she was talking about a trap door. And then you say things like, anybody with basic common sense. So are you saying this genuine, authentic, brilliant woman who you said should be president doesn't have basic common sense? Because we heard the trapdoor theory from Candace. Maybe other people went with it. Maybe she got it from somewhere else. But I know for a fact, I saw her asking questions, never saying, I know beyond the shadow of a doubt for a fact there was a trap door. She never said that. She's just been asking questions, putting this to the public, the things that she's been finding out. So you said you talked to her the other day. Maybe y'all had a conversation. I'm just noticing what's being done in public is not what it used to be. You went on in this Substack to say there is a difference between healthy skepticism and demonic slander. So where does this brilliant, authentic, should be president friend of yours stand? Is she offering healthy skepticism, or are you claiming that is demonic slander? Because right after you said there's a difference between healthy skepticism and demonic slander, you went on to invent a trap door. You went to the trap door theory that we all heard on Candace. Again, you were one of her biggest cheerleaders, one of her biggest supporters, telling us how brilliant, authentic, how she was passionate. You said if anybody had a problem with Candace, they would have a problem with you, and I'm just not seeing it. So you can be mad all day long, and you can try and be dismissive with the whole this chick don't know us. This chick don't know y'all, but this chick has eyes. And these eyes have been looking for the last several years, and I see a change. And as I said on Monday, Stevie Wonder could see this. So all of these, these insinuations about people and their conspiracy theories, and how if you had basic common sense, you mean to tell me someone that should have been in your eyes running for president now doesn't have basic common sense? I mean, it was okay for you to put 2 and 2 together. You heard me say something and felt like it was towards Candace, and you did multiple videos or stated that multiple times in videos. I attacked Candace and you ain't like it. So guess what now? I'm the attack dog. Roof. Because I'm seeing you say stuff and I'm putting words in your mouth, and I don't like it because you were the one claiming you were her friend. You were the one coming after everybody else that you even thought blinked at her too hard. Now, all of a sudden, you are just a proud Zionist, right? This is your tweet. You said, I'm a proud Zionist. You know what? I hate having to go back and forth, right? But because I do all of this on my own, but let me share my screen. I don't want y'all to think I'm just making stuff up. You say here in this tweet, I'm a proud Zionist. The war in Gaza made me more of a Zionist than before. I don't care if you disagree. You are entitled to your own opinion. And listen, I agree with that. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But do you know that you never said anything about being a Zionist until August 10th? So if the war in Gaza made me more of a Zionist than before, what took you so long to say it? You want us to believe it wasn't the money, but what took you so long to take this stance if you were already there before? It took you it took you a while to claim that you were a Zionist. Never saw you say anything about being a Zionist. Now listen, all I can do on X is go to your profile, type in Zionist, and see how many times you claimed you were one. First time I saw it was just this year. So when people say, I wonder if somebody's getting a check for their stance, it should not be a shocker that people are looking at you. that people are looking at the people who have all of a sudden shifted and changed just in the last few months. It would be like me saying, you know, I already was, we need to fix the Black family. But seeing the video of them attacking the woman in Chicago made me more of, we need to fix the Black family. And then people can go and say, you know, she's been saying for a long time, we should fix the Black family. She just took it up a notch after seeing the video in Chicago. So if you were always a Zionist and you just took it up a notch, we should see some evidence that there was a notch to start with. For you to take it up a notch, where was the lower notch? I'm just saying, we don't see it. But I do see that at one point in time, you were Candace's attack dog, and now you're saying things like, you know, you are debunking. That's what, you know, y'all call it. I don't think you're debunking anything, but you are debunking the things that she's presenting to her audience and then peppering it with stuff like, if you had basic common sense. Sounds like a read. For those of us, you know, familiar with Real Housewives, sounds like a read, honey. Sounds like a read. Doesn't sound like what a friend would say. And again, everybody has their the right to their own opinion. I'm not saying you have to stand in agreement with her thoughts. But at one point in time, you felt like she was brilliant, genuine, authentic, passionate, and should be president. And at one point in time, you said anyone who has a problem with her has a problem with you. And I'm not seeing that same level of support. Now, I don't know. Maybe y'all behind the scenes said, look, let's get this money. You go this way, I'm going to go that way. I see you on the other side. I don't know. But where I'm sitting, from my point of view, when you insinuate that there's a difference between healthy skepticism and demonic slander, and you put specific things in here, you reference specific things that comes from your friends' information and content and show that's being put out. What's up? What's going on? I'm just asking questions myself. I want to know. I want to know because there has been a shift in your behavior. So, you know, that was the whole thing. It looked like a backstabber from my point of view. I'm not the authority on backstabbers. But neither were the OJs. And we thought, because of the song, we said, oh, they know a little bit about backstabbers. I know a little bit about backstabbers, and it's looking a little bit backstabberish. It has the flavor of the aroma of a backstabber. That's what I'm saying, because you went years. You spent years defending her fiercely and loudly. And I'm just not seeing it now. Now you avoid saying her name while posting content that contradicts her findings on Charlie Kirk's death. It contradicts her findings. So now you, as you criticize people for clicks, you know that there's a group of people frustrated with her, mad with her, angry with her, whatever. Some of them mad because they felt like she wasn't pro-Israel even prior to Charlie's death. And now they just feel like it's just more hatred or whatever. People jumped in my comments as if I took a stand on the issues. A bunch of slow motions that couldn't even follow the train of thought. That I'm saying, what happened to she's genuine, authentic, should be president, and anybody that got a problem with her got a problem with me. Because I'm seeing a lot of people having a problem with her. And I just don't see, you know, it's a bird, it's a plane. I'm not seeing you come in. I ain't seeing it. But we saw it for years. So I'm saying, what happened to you defending her fiercely and loudly? You could say Candace is a genuine person. I worked with her for years. She's authentic. She cared about Charlie. They traveled the country together. And the reason why it pisses me off that people are acting like this wasn't the case, because I traveled the country with Brandon Stropp. So there's no way anybody would be able to get online and act like that wasn't the case, and act like I didn't have or shouldn't have genuine love or concern for him. Nobody should be bastardizing our friendship by saying stupid shit like maybe Brandon and Shemeka were sleeping together. Because that's what I'm seeing. And if you have knowledge that that wasn't the case, I'm wondering why Mr. Attack Dog is not saying, hey, I understand y'all not liking what you're seeing from Candace. You feel like it's hurting Erica. You feel like it's hurting. Listen, I get it. But I know for a fact there was no illicit relationship between Candace and Charlie. Because I feel like had somebody said that a year ago, 2 years ago, what's going on with Charlie and Candace, I could have got up there and said, you know, Candace Owens act like her and Charlie Kirk are sleeping together. You would have drugged me for filth. And I know so because I didn't even mention the girl's name. Won't even thinking about the girl, and you made something out of nothing. So if this is supposed to be your dear friend, your friend who you said you support 100%, all I'm saying is, then you ought to show some sign. You ought to walk right. I need to see it. Where's the sign? There used to be signs. Oh, yeah, he for sure feels like Candace is brilliant. He for sure feels like Candace should be heard. He for sure supports Candace's way of thinking. I'm just not seeing the friendship. And you can be on the phone with someone and still not stand with them publicly. She is, I mean, you know, some of these things are not true. Listen, I was never around Candace and Charlie. If there was some secret love affair, is that why you can't come out against the people with their insinuations that there was some type of torrid affair between them? Some type of wrong relationship? Because you could at least correct that. Correct that. Correct people saying if you listen to Candace or whatever, if you have faith in her, you can't be trusted. What? Come on. Attack dog? Can I at least get a little bitty dog? You may not be on the big dog stuff like you used to be. Can we get a little Mr. Attack Dog? Just a little bit. Little bit. That's all I'm saying. Because my real issue is that your loyalty has gotten quiet. So yes, I made content about the quiet loyalty because the loyalty used to be real loud. This isn't personal. You're right. I don't know either of you. I'm just noticing a pattern, or I noticed a pattern and I see a difference. There's no way Nick Fuentes would have called her a bitch in 2018 and you wouldn't have lost your mind. And I know this is so because I didn't even say her name, wasn't thinking about her, and you continued to spew that lie. People in conservative media will defend you loudly when it benefits them and get real quiet when it doesn't. I remember when Tucker left Fox. Everybody was, oh yeah, that's great. Tucker's gone from Fox. He can now be himself. Until you didn't like himself. Oh, Candace is leaving the Daily Wire. You'll be okay. I even told you'll be fine. Candace has a husband and a following. She's going to be fine. And ever since then, y'all been trying to pull the girl down, and as you drag her down, it's like her skirt comes off, but she has on a new one, and she just keep going. And what I'm noticing is y'all aren't really saying like you're not debunking specific things. That entire Substack was based off of who cried when, what did they do, how did they feel. No, let's talk about the Egyptian planes. Let's talk about some of the things that people are actually having questions about. Listen, I think I would shy away from watching someone I don't like be shot. So I'm not shocked that people who work with Charlie Kirk every day felt some kind of way by what their eyes saw. That, like, talk about common sense. That's common sense. You ain't have to write no whole Substack about what gruesome sight it was, what they saw, how they felt, like we get that. But when you want to talk about there's a difference between healthy skepticism and demonic slander, I want you to talk about specific things, because I'm not seeing y'all come in with specifics and say, you know what, there were absolutely no Egyptian plane. There's no flight records of an Egyptian plane being in the same area with Erica or like, that would be real simple to debunk. But y'all aren't doing that. You're doing a bunch of content on being mad that the questions are being asked in the first place. You know what I would do if my friend, I wasn't really like, oh, maybe, she going a bit off the deep end, but I know her. That's my friend. I know how passionate she is. I know she's brilliant. I know she's inquisitive. I know that if, you think you're going to come up against her, she's going to come back. If that was my friend, I would say, you know what? That's her, y'all. I don't agree with what she's doing. I don't agree with how she's seeing this, but she is a genuine person. She is authentic, y'all. She's loving. She's kind. Can she be, a bit boss bitches? Perhaps. But she has a brilliant mind, y'all. I don't know what's so hard about that. Unless it's not in the payoff agreement. I mean, it's looking a bit sketchy-etch. It's looking a bit sketchy-etch for me. But again, I'm just the wheel. Maybe we wheels see things a bit differently. It looks backstabberish to me. Loyalty that disappears when things get uncomfortable isn't loyalty. It's convenience. And right now, for many people, this is an uncomfortable situation. But loyalty shouldn't disappear because this is an uncomfortable situation. I just talked to Candace the other day. Really? Did somebody tell you to call off being the attack dog? Did you what? Because somebody said to me, oh, he shifted a while coming after her, insinuating things, or little shady sayings or things that weren't right out in the open, and I didn't notice it. I don't know. I don't have time to follow every single thing that someone puts out. And then I have a lot of people that I care about who have podcasts or put out content. I mean, as a content creator, somebody who does this, I have a lot of friends, or I've made a lot of, become very friendly with people in this same field. I can't watch all of this. And sometimes I may get a text, hey, I'm going live, or watch this, and I don't have time. So I can't watch every single thing, but I did notice that there's been a change from her biggest supporter, her loudest attack dog. And it's making me ask questions. I'm Arsenio Hall's audience. I used to watch him at night when I was in school, was supposed to be in the bed. But we had a little small TV. My cousin and I, we would put it in our room, put like a little towel or blanket under the door so my grandma couldn't see the light from the TV shining through. We would be watching Arsenio Hall at night. So when you talk about things that make you go, I'm going, loyalty versus image. Public silence equals private distance. Like I'm just asking questions, just noticing things, because convenient support isn't support. It just isn't. But let me see what you guys and girls are saying in the chat. How many followers will I lose today? You know, how many followers will I lose today? Hello, head shakers. Tell my godson I said hello. I saw a text come through from him, Sharisa. Just a reminder to like if you haven't, like it or dislike it, you know. Be honest, be authentic. Share. If you watch me, subscribe. If you like what you see here, tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. Vincent Conrad, this Brandon Chump is obviously on BB's tit. Sold his soul for his love of Israel's money. What a phony. Dude is a complete fraud. Hi, Thomas and Big Al, Uncle Coon. He's saying, what it do to all the head shakers? Hello, TJ, the conservative. Someone said, sounds like the mic isn't on. Audio is good. Maybe check it after the show. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Big Al, Uncle Coon, I'll put that up there in just a second. Yeah. Hi, Miguel. Okay, let's see. He's giving us some information. Tatum's radio show is on the Salem Media Group, which is connected to the CNP, Council National Policy, which is a secretive organization that strongly supports Christian Zionism. See, this is what I'm saying. Give us, these are some answers, right? Even if I still feel like, you know, you're weak and wussy and not being a good friend, people have mouths to feed. They have bills to pay. That's, you know, hey, your boss or who, where your radio show is, hey, it is what it is. Thought Lane, Brandon done lost his mind. Oh, look, Miguel giving us a lot of information. One of the CMP founders is Tim Leahy, the writer of The Left Behind. Oh, yes, books and movies. Carlos Kurt was also a member of the CMP. Do you mean Carlos? Who is Carlos Kurt? Oh, Denise. Denise says you are brainwashed. What am I brainwashed on, Denise? Maybe was that for me? When I go back sometimes, I hate to really bitch slap you in front of everybody, and I'm misunderstanding your intention with the comment. I'm just wondering if you about that life, you feeling froggy, jump back in the comments. Because right now I'm not exactly sure. It was 2:19 when you said this, so I'd hate to really bitch slap you in front of everybody in error, you know. Let's see. What else do we have? Art Chick 1972 says Candace is an idiot. Well, Art Chick, if you were saying that prior to all of this, as I said on Monday, I don't have an issue with people who are keeping the same energy. I have a problem with people who were licking the crack of Candace's ass for a long time, and now all of a sudden you don't like to taste the ass. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, I understand our taste buds change every 7 years, but there's a lot of people that were licking her behind and now acting like they don't like the taste of behind, or maybe they don't like to taste it in public and they tasting it behind closed doors. I don't know. So my issue is not with people who have always felt a certain way. But you're very disingenuous to me if you say at one point somebody was brilliant, because that brilliance just doesn't go away. That authenticity doesn't just go away. Like, that's who someone is. So again, he could agree with what she is saying. He could disagree with what she's saying or doing, but you were either lying then or you're lying now about the brilliance and the genuineness and the authenticity. Lying then or lying now. That's all I'm saying. Mentors for Life says Tatum is clowning. Thomas is saying he never heard of the CMP. Me either. I may need to look that up. Miguel says, look up the website Council for National Policy. It describes itself as a secretive rather than a secret organization. They generate billions. Thomas says the daughter of the Chiefs owner said she supported a Turning Point USA alternative to Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime show. I think an alternative to the Bad Bunny Super Bowl show is great. A great idea. I don't want to watch Bad Bunny. I don't know who he is. I don't like hearing press 1 for English, 2 for Spanish when I'm trying to pay my phone bill or something. I definitely don't want to hear a Super Bowl halftime show in Spanish. I can't stand it. Diane said he also said people think Candace is crazy. Never heard him say she wasn't crazy. See, you gotta, I need to see that old time defense, because something just not adding up to me. Thomas says, I saw the most disgusting, tasteless skit where a girl was pretending to be Erica Kirk and wiping her tears with $100 bills. So evil. Yeah, I've seen, I don't have TikTok, but sometimes you know how people take it off there and put it on like Instagram or X or whatever. I have seen some people imitating her, and I'm just not with it. I'm not with it. And I have my thoughts, you know. I have my thoughts, but it's not my it's not a hill I'm willing to die on, you know. Diane said he also disclosed how wealthy she is. Brandon Tatum disclosed how wealthy Candace is. Is that what you're saying, Diane? Thomas, you still in here talking about Tucker's laugh. MTX485. Candace has made people fully retarded, which I think is rich that you spelled it wrong while calling other people retarded. Maybe you did that because it's YouTube, but listen, we don't turn you in over here. You know, I don't even have time for it. And it'd be a waste of time because clearly you're a weak bitch, not even using your real name. William Brown says, fearlessly Shemeka, okay, is this your new channel or am I slow to catch this? I'm doing both, William. This is my channel. I'm here Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. But I'm doing Fearless still and Harmony, mostly Harmony with Jason Whitlock. Yeah. MTX 485. Multiple people have debunked it. They're just not as big as Candace, and they get drowned out by the cluster B Candace cult. I don't know what that means, but so if they're not as big as her, I need some of these big accounts, like the Pastor Greg Locke or whatever his name is, the Brandon Tatums that's putting out all of this other information, who has hundreds of thousands of followers, million followers. I need some of them to actually debunk it. Again, nobody has time to watch everybody's content. But if these big accounts are going to be talking about her, just debunk the stuff. Just put it out. You know, talk about the planes, not about whether or not somebody cried and was sad. Let's get some real stuff up here. Candace explicitly said she expected the gang would get back together and they would all be in a group chat together, and she was hurt that they didn't include her. So not she wants to ruin their names. You know, again, that could go either way. She literally said she wants to make their names synonymous with names like Judas. So every time they enter a room, they feel like they're suffocating. That could go either way. That's why I keep bringing up Brandon Strock, because I feel like Charlie gave Candace a really big push. He gave her a platform. He gave her credibility. He did a lot for Candace. So I can understand her feeling like I'm going to go scorched earth on whoever did it and anybody that's not helping me get to the bottom of it. Because for me, yeah, it would be obvious that I would go scorched earth if somebody did something to my man, my children, my mama, you know. But I'm honestly saying, somebody that gave me an opportunity and saw me when nobody else saw me, I would go scorched earth, you know. Somebody that loved my children and didn't have to, because when you are in this line of work, you know, I've had plenty of jobs. When you work with people, you form some type of bond or relationship. And then God forbid you're traveling. God forbid you face adversity during that time. I'm talking about there were times when we were attacked. You know, people trying to actually physically harm us while we were out on the road. So there's just a certain bond for that. You're fighting for what you believe is your country, what you believe in. A bond is formed from that. And I'm grateful that Brandon Strock is gay and that nobody would ever think I want a gay man. Because if I felt like someone, like, and God forbid, I don't even really want to think about it, but if anything happened to him, I would go scorched earth. I would. And I would be mad at everybody who was in the limo with us when we was rocking out and singing that didn't participate, that won't go on scorched earth with me. DDC, MNS, I'm sure when Candace hung up the phone with him, she rolled her eyes knowing he's weak. Great show, boss, as always. What it do, head shakers? Thought Lane says, I subscribed from Brandon Tatum about 2 weeks ago. Sharisa says, great show, Shemeka. I learned Brandon is the definition of a flip-flopper. Hi, Mac Daddy, Pete, Nicholas. Melina, did I say hello? Shifty, just one devil show or another. I don't really know what that means. Hermana Shemeka, you don't like Santana? Who is Santana? Is that an artist? I have no clue. Nicholas says Erica never passed the smell test. No need to disrespect the dead, but acting like her behavior is normal has to stop. I know. Not saying you're acting like that, Shemeka. I know. Listen, I got my thoughts. It's just not a hill I'm willing to die on. Shifty says, no, you're right. Something is off with her whole spirit. You know. Wednesday is bitch slapping day. Okay. It is. I'm going to have a ratchetay of the day tomorrow. On Thursday, we're going to start maybe an ratchetay of the week. And we're going to start it tomorrow. I'm going to tell you who my ratchetay of the week is. It's going to be some ratchet, low vibrational woman doing ratchet, low vibrational BS. Shifty says plain things is interesting for sure. It really is. Like yeah, I don't know who that is. I don't think. Oh, wait, now y'all are talking about somebody who was taken out by close associates. Let me do I need to write this down? Because I'm gonna look up all of this stuff y'all are telling me here. I'm gonna look this up because I want to know. Thomas said Charlie Kirk put her on for sure. Yes. Pete says Jason was truly shocked by that bid. Yeah. And you know how he feels about crying on camera. So definitely he was shocked. Definitely, he was definitely shocked. Okay, guys. So my takeaway today is Brandon Tatum. You are entitled to your opinions. I'm not saying that. But if you're going to pop into my comments, at least be consistent. Don't say, I don't know you when you've used me for content. Don't say I'm doing it for clicks when that's exactly what you do daily. And don't minimize me now when you had no problem using me for clicks before. I'm not just that chick or a Black woman. This isn't drama. This is just clarity. I'm not just that chick or Black woman. I'm Shemeka Michelle, bitch. I love y'all. Peace.